Carnival. We expect a bumper push in terms of the numbers of visitors to the islands, a bumper number of persons being part of bands, and just a bumper carnival altogether. We are in the mode still of working through all our kinks to make sure that everything is prepared in totality, the routes, the clusters, the visitor locations, and the viewing points. We are also in final conversation with all our sponsors, and I would like to say hats off immediately to Be Mobile, who has already signed on as our gold sponsor, and we look forward to a long-lasting partnership with them going forward. We continue to really ensure that we work with all our stakeholders, band leaders, promoters, etc., in building out all the functions that make this a successful festival altogether. As we continue to work with even the stakeholders as the residents of Tobago, the business people as Scarborough, even the churches within the area, to ensure that there is at least as minimum of a disruption during the time, but we're considering each and every person as a critical part of ensuring that this is a successful showing. So we are in a very in the mode of kicking things into gear. You will see the rollout of our branding as early as next week as we continue to prepare. We just came off of a very successful roadshow tour in Trinidad of all of previous week, and that showed an impact of more than 15,000 people on one given point. So we are really expecting greater interest in this 2024 showing of the Tobago October Carnival. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cowan, for your updates. I now invite ACP Collis Hazel to make his presentation. And Mr. Hazel has been in charge of the security aspect of the carnival and spearheading the Tobago October Carnival security meetings, which we've been having bi-monthly. ACP Hazel.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of the media, fellow citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and the viewing public worldwide. I am elated once again to be responsible for managing the security aspects of Carnival on the island of Tobago. I entreat all of you to come and revel in paradise. We are once again organizing at this point in time to ensure that your stay while on the island of Tobago continues to be one of a secure and safe place whereby we can all enjoy the festivity of Carnival. The Tobago Carnival is nothing's changed in terms of its preparedness to the stakeholder grouping that is normally responsible for ensuring its safety. We work collaboratively, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, with all our stakeholders in a multi-pronged approach, thereby allowing that full operation of the security apparatus to ensure that we treat with any eventuality that is to happen on the island of Tobago during the festival of Carnival. We are catering to not only the Carnival days, but also the pre-Carnival events. Tobago is offering you an opportunity at this point in time to come to the island, to enjoy from our Blue Food Festival right into our Carnival activity. We are giving you the assurances that with our planning and with all our preparations put together, we would ensure that you are safe in coming to this island to enjoy the revelry of Calypso, Steel Pan, and Mass. I want to give you the reassurances that based on the trajectory that we have been working with, we are quite prepared and can promise you that level of safety as you revel in paradise.
Thank you very much, ACP Hazel. We now move to Director of the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, Mr. Alan Stewart.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to the wider listening audience across the world, wherever you are. Once again, it is the privilege of the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, along with its partners, to ensure that this mammoth event as built provide you with the safest Carnival festivity across the world. Truly, based on the promo and the responses that we have seen so far, and the risk assessment conducted going forward, we are quite comfortable that the whole issue as one of the major things that we have seen among the many objectives as it relates to the role of emergency management in all of this is that of interagency operability. To do so, we have been collaborating with our partners pre the event, and it speaks to the whole pentagon of emergency management, where these 5 major areas are looked at in a very, very skillful manner. We want to give you the assurance, revelers, band leaders, all stakeholders, that the necessaries are being brought together, where in the form of planning we are doing just that to allow for the safety and the security of our people and our visitors as a whole. It's important to note that we will ensure that consistently what the public has grown accustomed to in regards to these festivities, that we will ensure that we go no less, whereby we will allow for the necessary infrastructure that will allow for effective command and control, coordination, and effective interagency communication, along with the planning principles to go along with it. And we have been doing well so far. So we know from at midnight, just around Friday at 23:59 exact, we expect that this game will be in play until the wee hours of Sunday night or Monday morning, where we will call it a day in terms of the festival itself. We are ensuring that we allow for command posts to be set up in such a way that effective coordination, as I probably should reiterate, that is the backbone of all of this. And therefore, we are hoping that we have the cooperation of all players. We are looking forward for safety, not only in the sense of those who will be in the bands, but also the revelers and those that are coming to the festival, that you will ensure that security and safety is where it ought to be. So I want to give you that assurance that this will be the safest Carnival ever, keeping the track record going for Tobago Carnival. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stewart. We now move to Mr. Dexter Sandy, Interim President of the Tobago October Carnival Association.
Good afternoon to all the viewers looking on from your various jurisdictions. The Tobago October Carnival Association primary function, encompasses the mass bands. And one thing that we must highlight this year is that definitely we have seen an increase in the number of bands being registered to participate in the carnival activities. This is a trend in the right direction. We are seeing in excess of 30 bands being registered for Juve, in excess of 10 for night mass, and just over 21 for the contemporary mass and traditional mass, which takes place on the Sunday. So definitely we're seeing the trends in the right direction as it relates to mass. We're seeing bands would have launched from as early as May this year, and they have been out there marketing and pushing their product and encouraging you, the visitors, and you, the viewers at home, to come on out, check out the mass camps, check out their websites, and buy in. Right? This carnival, this product of Tobago, is something that is significant. It's in the 3rd year running, and we're really looking forward to the support of you, the masqueraders. The gentleman sitting on my right, we have been in meetings for the last month, and really and truly have been planning out what is going to be deemed another safe carnival. Coming out of last year's carnival with no major incident at all, we want to make sure that the masqueraders know that they are coming into a safe environment where they are from, whether they are from here in Tobago, from Trinidad, or abroad. You are coming into a safe environment. No matter which band you choose, you're going to be enjoying the festivities in Scarborough. One of the most beautiful routes ever set out when it comes to a carnival along the waterfront. So a lot of great positives to come out of Tobago Carnival, and we're just saying come on out and be a part of the bands over the 25th to the 27th of October.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sandy. And our final presentation will come from Mr. Hayden Romano, Managing Director of the Environment Management Agency, the EMA.
Good afternoon, members of the head table, media, and Tobago. The Environmental Management Authority, the EMA, is very happy and very pleased to be associated with the coordination of this, the third issue of the Tobago October Carnival. We are very happy to be supportive, and to be playing a supportive role to all the various agencies and organizations involved in this carnival. And we want to wish Tobago a very successful Carnival 2024. We will play our role. Our interests, our major interest, of course, is human health and the environment. We know that everything is being put in place to protect the communities that are sensitive, and we're talking about communities that are sensitive to noise, such as hospitals, such as old people's homes. And we know that the community, the coordination committee, is working well to ensure that those sensitive communities are protected. So we look forward to continuing the coordination, to continuing the work of the committee. And of course, we know it will be a successful Carnival 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Romano, for your updates. We've come to the end of the presentations, so we'll now open the floor for questions. We have one member of the media already set to ask his question. Mr. Corey Connolly, you may go ahead.
Good afternoon to the head table. I don't know who will be willing to take it, Assistant Secretary George or Mr. Cohen. Could you give us an idea as to how much is being pumped into this year's event?
I'll take that question. I wouldn't be able to give you an exact figure at this moment because of a lot of late buying and sponsorship. The budget has to be adjusted. So as soon as there is a concrete figure, it would be released to the public.
Is there a kind of ballpark? Because we're just about 6 weeks away. Is there a ballpark?
As soon as there are concrete figures that can be released, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth where that is concerned. So I would want to get it correct. So as soon as there is an accurate figure that I can release, it certainly would be released today.
In terms of the parade route, will it be a Scarborough-centric carnival again? I don't know who will take it.
Okay, so we continue to use the said route that we utilized last year, and the carnival is predominantly centered around Scarborough. That's correct, and therefore persons will have the opportunity to revel within that the space that was set out that we deemed appropriate for Carnival for 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Connolly, for your questions. We now move to Ms. Charisa Douglas of GTT.
Pleasant afternoon to the health table. Just piggybacking on what Mr. Connolly asked, Assistant Secretary George, you said that there has been some late buying. Could you elaborate a little bit further as to what may be preventing you all from being able to share or to have some idea as to what the budget may look like, please?
So, some of the sponsors were uncertain initially. Based on the activity that has been taking place in the space, they are all, well, not all, but more are beginning to buying and willing to do more. Whether it be kind, whether it be cash. And that has caused figures to move. So we do not want to put a figure out there that would put us in a bad light or in a bad situation. I am someone, specifically me, that likes to come with facts, right? And as soon as there is a figure that can be bandied around properly, we would release that figure to the public.
Thank you. I guess Mr. Cowan, maybe you or Mr. George, you could touch on this one. It's the third installment of Tobago's October Carnival. What can masqueraders, spectators, enthusiasts, carnival enthusiasts look forward to this time around for Tobago's October Carnival? Something different. What could they expect that may be different?
Well, what can be different is higher involvement, a better coordinated route, because the route's going to be like a circuit, and it's going to be continuously a safe carnival going forward. So we want to focus on that primarily. One of the other things that would be unique to this carnival would be our staging at the market square, that we hope to be a very focal point. That is one unique thing. And then, of course, the entire Wilson Road Seaside Esplanade area to be one of the main viewing points that we will encourage as many visitors to be a part of, because that experience in itself sells. So this carnival takes into consideration both the masquerader and the viewers.
Okay, ACP, oh, Mr. Hazel wants to add.
So I just want to add to that in terms of a special appeal that I'm asking for the citizens of Tobago and residents of Tobago. One of the wow that we would want to see continue throughout this festival is to ensure the experience of hospitality in the true Tobago sense, and that is to come from its people. So as we allow people to come into our space, we need to be welcoming. We need to create that welcoming opportunity. We are a tourism destination, and we want us all to play that pivotal role in creating that level of Tobago hospitality to our visitors alike, because from what we are gathering is that we are going to be having a huge amount of visitors, both domestic and foreign visitors on our shores. And if we are to attract them again, we need to be hospitable. Thank you.
Yes, and Mr. Hazel, ACP Hazel, I actually have a question for you. In Tobago, we're seeing an increase, a serious increase in criminal activities on the island, to the point that it's attracting national attention. What can persons, or what have you all been doing to address, or to prepare rather, for the, as you said, an influx in visitors, masqueraders, because persons may be fearful as to what is happening here in Tobago? What plans have the TTPS put in place to address this?
So let me say to you and on the onlookers and those persons at this point in time who are still trying to make up their mind, Tobago is safe. Tobago is a safe place. Yes, we have had some challenges with our shootings and woundings, which has resulted in murders. However, our serious crimes, the majority of our serious crimes are still down. And therefore, I want to give the public the assurances that we have been looking at some of the persons who are persons who are responsible for some of these offenses, and a plan is being instituted in order to treat with that. Of course, it is a security concern, so I will not let anything out the bag, but we are dealing with this in an overt and covert way in ensuring that we are able to reduce this high level of risk, our perceived risk that persons may have challenges with. I give all the assurances that the TTPS will be working assiduously in ensuring that everyone in this Paradise Island remains safe.
My final question, I guess, Assistant Secretary George, you may be able to take this one. In terms of, usually there's a usual complaint about air bridge, sea bridge issue, especially when it's high traffic period, persons coming to Tobago. Have you all begun the discussions with the airport authority, with Caribbean Airlines, with the port authority to ensure that persons could get to Tobago safely and quickly?
Well, the word begun is misplaced there because conversations with the airline carriers have never stopped. We were able to get additional sailings from the Port Authority as well as additional flights. Those are almost booked out as far as I know. Conversations continue to be had to have additional flights because I know this is a Carnival meeting, but outside of Carnival, we have been trying to get additional flights on the air bridge because people have been suffering on the airports for quite some time. Since COVID, the airport has never reopened to its past capacity, and conversations have been had continuously with CAL and the port.
Well, it seems as though we've come to the end of our questions. I'm not seeing anyone online. So let me thank the media very much for your questions this afternoon. I want to thank the listening and viewing public for tuning in. I'd also like to thank the head table, including Mr. Romano, for your presentations. And I just want to let persons know that plans are happening in a very intentional and deliberate way for the Tobago October Carnival. And just to reiterate that we expect it to be one that is very safe and secure. So thank you for tuning in. I want to thank the Department of Information as well for the broadcast. Do have a very safe afternoon.